Hello, I'm so glad to be making this video today because it's really what we're doing is we're rolling out our plan for how we can gather together once again for in-person worship. And so we hope to explain some things in this video. First of all, just sort of starting out with the timetable that we're looking at. We're sort of rolling out a plan over a period of time. I'm recording this on May 16th on Saturday. And even this Sunday, on the 17th, we're going to have a couple of families who are hosting other families to come and to have worship together in their home as they watch the streaming recording that we have each Sunday morning. And so that'll be an opportunity for our people to gather. Also, today, as we recorded the worship service, we had a family join us for worship as well. And we're going to do that over the next several weeks. And part of the purpose of that is to help us to sort of work out the bugs of what we need to do in order to have everybody back together for worship together. And our plan is to continue to record the services for the remainder of May. And then beginning on June 7th, which will be the first Sunday in June, we plan to be back together, inviting everybody to come for worship on Sunday morning here at Kirk of the Plains. Yay-hoo! All right. How exciting that will be. But anyway, as we gather back together, it's important that we help one another. I know a lot of people have various opinions and thoughts about the pandemic and how we ought to act and stuff. But one of the things that I have discovered through this whole thing is not every person's situations are the same as everyone else's. And so for my family, it may not be that big of a deal if we're out and about and with people, or whether I feel like I have some sniffles or whatever. But for other families in our church, many that we have in our church who have underlying health issues, it could be a way bigger deal. And so we've written up some guidelines to help us as a congregation follow. And we're asking you, especially if you're more laid back about everything, just to take these things very seriously, because while it may not be a big deal for you, it may be for some other family in the church. And so what we're basically doing is asking every week for you to do sort of a self-diagnosis. And we're attaching these guidelines to the email where this video is in, so you can read over these more carefully. I'm just going to hit the highlights. But just every week, look at your household and ask yourself, has anybody been sick with any sort of symptoms in the past 48 hours? And if so, don't come to worship. Just enjoy the live stream, if you would. Or has anybody in the household been positively diagnosed or awaiting the test results of the COVID-19 test? Or have you come and maybe you might have been notified that you have come in contact with somebody in the past 14 days who is being diagnosed with COVID-19? If that's the case, then we ask that you not come to worship. Or if you've traveled, of course, to any of the hot spots, either in the United States or internationally, that you, in the past 14 days, that you not come as well. And so these are just precautions. We're asking you to do this each week. And then on Thursday, before the Sunday that we worship, that you just respond to us either through Facebook or through text and let us know if you're going to be in worship or not. That just helps us in terms of knowing how many people we're going to have and where everybody needs to sit, to make sure that we have plenty of room for everyone that's coming. We have also made some changes to the sanctuary, as we're going to show you here in a little bit. We're just going to do a walkthrough of the sanctuary and explain how we changed everything and why, and sort of how everything works. But it is worth mentioning that we have removed all the song books and the Bibles and the pens from our sanctuary. And so if you need to bring your own Bible, if you want to bring your own song book, you're welcome to do that. And please bring your own pen. We have no pens to use. But we also will have the worship guides, the bulletins that we've posted on the web for you to use every week. We will have those available and printed off and put in each person's seat. So you don't have to bring anything if you don't want to. We'll have what you need to be able to worship. But we just wanted to let you know that. So anyway, those are just some of the things that we want to keep in mind as we think about worshiping together. But let's just take a few moments, if we could, and let's just take a walk through the building and sort of see how everything has changed. Okay, so we thought what we would do is just sort of give you a walkthrough and let you see what the sanctuary looks like, and so what you will experience when you come to Kirk of the Plains on that first Sunday in June. The first thing that you'll notice is as you come to the doorway is that we have it propped open, so that way people aren't having to touch it. You can just walk on in to the sanctuary without having to handle the door or anything, which will cut down on germs. And then right inside the door to the right, and you'll see like a hand sanitizing station. And so when you come in, we just ask if you would to just clean your hands from any germs that you might be bringing in. And then over here to the right is sort of a station with the essential things for worship. And we have on the offering basket where you can just drop your offering in. If you need an envelope for cash, you're welcome to do that as well. We will have sermon sheets, but we don't have clipboard, so we don't have to worry about sanitizing those. So if you want to bring any kind of clipboard, you're welcome to do that for your kids, or some other hard surface for them to write on. We do have water bottles, and the reason for that is we don't want to share a common water container, and so we thought individual water bottles would be better. I would say this though, we are asking that you only use the restroom if you have to, so just keep that in mind as you think about grabbing a water bottle, and only take what is necessary. Well, as you turn and you look at the sanctuary, you're going to see that the rows are not even. Everything is sort of spread out, and obviously that's for the social distancing aspect of it. But it's also, each row is sort of the length of different families that we have. And so as you come into the sanctuary, we're asking you to find your seats, and we'll have it labeled something like this here. You can see this row is 5 seats for the swaggarts. Okay, so this would be, like I said, a row for the swaggarts. Now, this may not be specifically where the swaggarts are going to be sitting, but just for the sake of demonstration, we wanted to go ahead and show you what that might look like. And then we're going to have on each seat, we don't have it right now, but here is an example of we'll have a printout of the worship guide with just like what you've been using at home, with the words of the song and the confession and things like that. And so there'll be a copy for each person sitting already on your seats, so you have those when you come in, and you can utilize those. Also, as we said earlier, we're going to be either live streaming or recording the sermons, and so there'll be a tripod in the middle of the sanctuary, and I'm sorry about that. It's just something that we'll have to sort of work around, but we appreciate your patience, and I'm glad that we're going to be able to do that. And then as you can see, obviously we reoriented the sanctuary, and so as we come to the back room, we actually have utilized our movable wall to sort of block off the areas that we don't want people to be at. We have stuff that's stored back there, our resource center and books and things like that we don't need to be touching and handling and stuff. So we put this wall up as a barricade. So parents, we're asking you, please help us, to make sure that your kids aren't like moving the wall and getting behind it, because that's sort of off limits, and just for everybody's safety. So if you could help us with that, we'd appreciate that very much. As we come to the restroom, I'm sure there will be folks that will have to use the restroom. So we put here again, once again, a hand sanitizing station here, but also a Kleenex here, so that if the door is closed, you can grab a Kleenex and you can open the doorway and flip on the light with the Kleenex, and then you can throw it away here in the trash can. And we've removed the lid so that you're not touching that, which is what they're recommending. And then, of course, people can go in and utilize the restroom. I will say this, after each different family uses the restroom, we'll clean the restroom. So if it's something where 2 or 3 people have to go to the restroom from the same family, that's very helpful if they could do that together in a row. And then once they get done, then someone will come in and clean the restroom, and you can see those instructions in the sheet that we sent out of what will have to be done. So that's going to take a little bit more time. So we just need to be patient with one another and work together in terms of that. So, try not to drink too much coffee when you come to before you come to worship, I guess, is sort of the moral of the story. As we said earlier, I'm not sure I mentioned this, but it's important that you understand we're asking everybody, if they could, to come in through the front door. We'll have the back door unlocked for safety reasons, for fire code reasons and things like that, but because we have things behind the wall that we're seeking to protect, we're asking people not to use the back door, but to come in through the front door and to exit through the front door as well. And so what we'll do is, after the worship service is done, then we're going to ask people to leave, beginning with the back row, and to go out the door and to do any socializing that you do outside, where there's a lot more room for social distancing and stuff. And so we'll just allow people to gather their things and move out. So anyway, that's just a few of the details about our gathering together. If you have any questions about this, don't hesitate to contact me. We're really trying to do this in such a way that would give us the freedom that we could gather and we could worship and enjoy our time together, but to do so in a safe and a healthy way, in a way that would encourage and build up our body. So thank you very much for listening.